Boy. Well, hey there. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, today we have Mr. Apollo and we're getting comfy at the park. So we are here today on an exposure outing. We haven't been to this park before, so this is kind of an exposure outing for us as well, to scope out the space and see what we can see. So basically what we're going to do is promote calmness. We're not going to get too excited other than my, just general air of excitement that I bring with me everywhere. And we're just going to observe anything that comes by. So there may be people, there may be other dogs. There's a lawnmower going over there. There is a party going on in the pavilion, it looks like, behind us.
Summer camp kind of a thing, maybe.
Oh, maybe summer camp. So there is some, sounds and things over that direction that he'll be able to hear that he won't be able to really see from our, vantage point. But yeah, basically we're just going to sit here. We're going to observe, and this is one of the kind of boring parts of dog training, essentially, because there is a lot of activities that require just hanging out, because that's what dogs spend a lot of their time doing, is hanging out. Good boy. So pretty much with him, anytime that he is, relaxing, I might give him some food, as some like popcorn, if you will, as if we were at the movies. If we see anything that's particularly exciting or triggering, might throw some food his way. But he is quite calm and comfortable in this situation. So we're just this is basically it. But what I did want to talk about a little bit while we were here is the idea of socialization versus exposure, because a lot of people get it into their heads that in order to properly socialize your dog, you have to introduce them to a bunch of different people, you have to introduce them to a bunch of different dogs, you have to take them to all these different places and do all these different things, and they have to directly interact with those people, places, and things.
Stop the ride-on lawnmower and ask the guy, can my dog come and sniff the lawnmower?
Yeah. Which, I mean, you can do those things, I guess, but that's not the most important part of it. The most important part is that your dog just experiences the people, places, and things, recognize that these things are not going to hurt them, that it's not scary, and they can just be. Good boy. Good. Yes. Good job. That they're not going to, the riding lawnmower is not going to come in the car, it's not going to hurt it. That kind of idea. Where are you going? You're more comfortable in there? Yeah, that's fine. You're a good boy. We can't see you, though. The people are here for you, sir. So yeah, and part of Mr. Apollo's troubles is that we don't really know what happened to him in his first 14, 15 weeks of life. We know that he was in Tennessee, that he was brought here by the rescue that took him and his litter on, but we don't know what his experiences were like during that critical socialization period. Or
even his mother's experience just prior to giving birth.
Right, exactly. So we can kind of guess that he just hasn't seen a lot of things, because at first, whenever he sees something new, he's rather apprehensive about it. He, kind of takes his time looking at it, what have you, but then he does warm up pretty quickly. So that kind of gives us a clue that this is less of a, baked in personality insecurity issue, and more of a, he just hasn't had enough experience with the world yet issue. But yeah. Right? I think I started talking about my socialization and exposure stuff, and then I promptly got distracted.
I mean,
good. This is very much an off-the-cuff kind of loose form video, and unscripted.
That's the nature of talking about this stuff when you're working with a dog in front of you, because
that is true. So yeah,
you got to stop.
Take over talking.
Stop the conversation. Ooh. In this case, to the camera, with the people around you, and focus on the conversation with the dog. Just because that's going to be the most important one, especially in the beginning of the training process. And as far as our concerns, because this is our business and our client is paying us to do the training, we should focus on Apollo here more than some of the stuff that we're gonna say to the camera, because we can always do that later. But yeah.
You dropped it.
I mean, when we talk about socialization versus exposure, it still fits in the umbrella and the common discussions, talking points with other dog trainers and people or whatever. Like, it's all socialization. Good. But we do like to make a bit of a distinction between the two because, as Kate was saying, a lot of people look at socialization as interaction. And that's not really the case. So when we talk about framing it under an idea of exposure, that helps give people the understanding that their dogs don't need to interact. They just need to be exposed. They need to observe and just see that the world goes on. Now, there can be a bit of both, depending on what's going on and what the thing is, or what kind of person, what kind of other dog or animal or what have you. An example that I don't know if we had on camera is with Ned, our previous board and train to Apollo here. Taken for a walk on kind of a windy day, and we walked down the sidewalk next to a bunch of trash that was put up on the curb to get picked up later that day, I think. And he was just uncertain about it. It was mostly cardboard boxes. There was the large bin that had the lid that flopped over. Yep. And so it was just kind of hanging there and swaying a little bit in the wind. And every now and then the wind would pick up a bit and really move it. So I focused more on the exposure aspect of it, of we're going to stay at a comfortable distance as you observe and figure this out. But then it became kind of a socialization idea because he felt brave enough to walk up and start to really smell and inspect and kind of interact. And then back off when the wind blew the lid of the bin a little bit more, but kind of got over it. So, I mean, it's all socialization, but again, start with the mindset of exposure or observation before interaction. And then also, when it comes to the point of potential interaction, there's a lawnmower getting closer, so we'll see how this works. We might actually just pause for a second. And we may even have to break it down and move. We'll see.
Not super comfortable with the lawnmower.
Yeah, well, he was going to come this way. But yeah, on one hand, focus on observation more than interaction, because realistically, why does your dog need to understand how to interact with X, Y, or Z? And this, like our joke earlier about the ride-on lawnmowers here, he's never gonna have to interact with them. His family does have a decent-sized property and a decent-sized yard that's gonna get mowed. And I would assume that they have a ride-on lawnmower, but not the same as these. These are much larger for large playing fields. So, like again, the point is Apollo doesn't need to walk up to any of these lawnmowers or the people operating them. Just understand that they work, they move, they make noise, they twist, and can change in their sounds and movements and whatever, but they're not a threat. Going back to, like with Ned, where it started off with observation, he doesn't need to interact with trash or the trash bin, but there was also no harm in him doing so in that way. There was no one that we had to stop and ask and slow down or anything like that. And that pile of trash in that spot is on the sidewalk. That is a walking path that we'd gone on a few walks along there. And so it's not a bad idea for him to have minimal interaction so that it just makes it easier to walk by it the next time we walk by on trash day. So it depends. And that truck just do a lap in the parking lot? It didn't turn around, as far as I can recall.
Definitely feels more comfortable in the kennel, which is fine. The goal is for him to feel safe in these places. So he needs that as a little bit of a pacifier for right now. That's fine. This is the first time that we've done this, so.
Yep. Now, by the looks, it's our first time at this park, but by the looks of the park and everything that it offers, I'm sure on weekends, especially certain times of year during sports seasons, this place is going to be freaking busy. So it's not a terrible idea to go to a location for the sake of exposure when there's not a lot going on. That way, especially with, again, a dog like Apollo, just anything new can be very overstimulating. Just make the environment the first new thing.
Which is why we decided to come here on a Thursday morning as opposed to a Friday evening, Saturday morning.
Right. Might come here at the off times several times before deciding to come here on at the peak time.
Something I'm very happy to see is his little nose is going. This is sniffing things.
Hmm?
Kind of practice. Hopefully you can hear me okay over the line. Also, as a kind of precursor for any kind of outing that you want to go on with your dog to like a dog-friendly patio, if you want to go and have a picnic in the park where you know that a lot of the time you're just going to be kind of hanging out, relaxing. Starting in your living room is usually like the best thing, or the kitchen or what have you. That is a familiar space and you can kind of get that behavior down and just, rewarding for laying down at first. Or if your dog gets too overstimulated by food, then just with your praise, rewarding them when they're relaxing in a very calm fashion. And then taking this practice out like we are here to other places. Last week, during his first week, we did at least one session where we did this just in our driveway. So even though he's never been to this place, he has been in the back of the van and he had a safe, calm experience in the back of the van. So that kind of helps translate to being in a new place and seeing some new things. Start small, always. Start easy. And when you have success, build and make it more and more difficult. Okay.
I can go check. "16.5 minutes."
Well, I'm just kind of thinking anyway that we might call it, because I wanted this to be a very short and sweet kind of experience for the man, and he's doing so well. So we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Hope you got some insight and some good info. And if you did like this video, leave a comment below if you're going to go tailgating with your dog. Tell us how you think that's going to go. And then make sure you're subscribed as well and hit the bell so you'll get notifications when we put your videos up. And then you can watch Apollo here. We'll have one more video before he goes home, and then lots more videos when new board and trained dogs come to stay with us. So, hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day, and happy training.
See ya.